Yes, ma'am.
Just check if the screen is visible to you all now.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
It's
Yes,
visible.
ma'am.
So, in the previous chapter, we saw that how Muhammad Ghazni and Muhammad Ghori, they defeated the sultans, right? And they became the sultans. What we saw that Muhammad Ghazni, he was attracted to the Somnath temple. Why? There were two reasons. One, because of its wealth, and because of the riches. And the second reason is because it was located near the Gujarat coast. And then we saw Muhammad Ghori, there were two battles which he fought along with Prithviraj Chauhan. The first battle, he lost that battle, okay? And in the second battle, Muhammad Ghori used foul tricks to win the battle. And finally, he was able to defeat Prithviraj Chauhan. Now we'll see, learn more in more detail about the Mamluk dynasty. Can you all see the screen, children? A Mamluk dynasty, the
Yes,
Mamluk
ma'am.
dynasty. Okay. A Mamluk, literally meaning owned, was a soldier of slave origin who had converted to Islam. Okay. What is the literal meaning of Mamluk? Mamluk is also called as the slave dynasty or rulers. In Arabic word, it means owned. Okay, this particular word has come from the Arabic text. Okay, Mamluk dynasty, always remember, Mamluk dynasty is also called as Dash dynasty. What is the other name of Mamluk dynasty?
Slave
Slave
dynasty.
Slave
dynasty.
dynasty. Okay, please remember this. So, a Mamluk is what? The meaning of the word Mamluk is owned. Means was a soldier of a slave origin and was converted to Islam. That means these particular community was belonged to a soldier of a slave origin, and then later on they were converted into Islam. The phenomenon started in the 9th century, and gradually the Mamluks became a powerful military caste in various Muslim societies. So what had happened in the 19th century? These Mamluks, they slowly and gradually became the powerful military caste. Now, Mamluks held a political and military power, most notably in Egypt, but also in Levant, Iraq, and India. So please underline in your textbooks, children, that these were the areas where Mamluk had what? Political and military power.
Ma'am,
It was in Egypt, it was in Levant, it was in Iraq, and it was in India. Okay?
ma'am, we don't have this text in the course
This
book. We
text
have
is not
something
there.
else. Ma'am, we have
So, in the year 1206, Muhammad of Ghor, Sultan of Ghuriid Empire, was assassinated. Since he had no children, his empire split into minor sultanates led by his former Mamluk generals. Now, in your textbook, it is given after the death of Muhammad Ghori in the year 1206 CE. Yes? Children,
yes.
second paragraph, please
Yes,
underline
ma'am.
that. Yeah, please underline that. See, so after the death of Muhammad Ghori, what had happened? All his territories were left in the hands of whom? Of the slave generals. Who are his slave generals? Give me the names of his slave generals. It was, come on children, give me the names of his slave generals. Tajuddin, Yaldaus
Those
at
are
Ghazni, Nasruddin
Naris
Sabacha at Multan,
and
and Och and Kutubuddin Aibak at Lahore. Please
Lahore.
underline this. So we all know that Muhammad Ghori had come to power after defeating Prithviraj Chauhan, right? And then when he died, when did Muhammad Ghori die, children? Which year?
1206. 1206
Correct,
CE.
1206. When Muhammad Ghori died in the year 1206, what had happened? All his territories were handed over to his slave generals, and the names of his slave generals are given. Can you see the names? I am highlighting over here. Can you see the names?
Yes,
Please,
ma'am.
please underline in your textbook also. These were the slaves who took over who were given his territories and his dynasties after his death. Now, this ushered in a new age in medieval Indian history. Okay, so now this was the beginning of the slave dynasty. Okay, so why? Because his dynasty was given to whom? To his slave generals, and from there this slave dynasty began. All right. Aibak rose to power when Ghurid's superior was assassinated. Okay, so now Qutbuddin Aibak, how did he rose to power? We'll see that. Okay, now please look into your textbooks also. There's a detailed explanation given. The assured in the new age in the medieval Indian history, that is the ruling of Delhi and its surrounding areas by a group of foreigners who called themselves as sultans. Okay, who are the sultans? Please underline in your textbooks. Who considered themselves as the sultans? The ruling of Delhi and the surrounding areas were led by a group of foreigners. Who were these foreigners? They considered themselves as sultans. Delhi Sultanate refers to both the extent of kingdom and the time era that these sultans ruled. So if we say that Delhi, if we are studying about the Delhi Sultanate, that means the sultans of Delhi. That means what we are studying, in short, we are studying about the rule of these sultans. Okay, in that specific era. Okay, that these rules this entire rule of the sultans is called as the Delhi Sultanate, or in other version it is also called as the sultans of Delhi. Clear, everyone? Now the first one among that is Qutbuddin Aibak. Can you see Qutbuddin Aibak in the image given of Qutbuddin Aibak in the
Yes, ma'am.
sheet?
You can say.
Yes. So now Aibak had risen from the lowly ranks of slave and had worked his way up to become the first Muslim ruler of northern India and the founder of the Delhi Sultanate and the Mamluk dynasty. Please underline this. Who was Qutbuddin Aibak? He was the slave, okay, and he had worked and he became the first Muslim ruler where in the northern India. Okay, and he was also the founder of the Delhi Sultanate. That means the Mamluk dynasty. Mamluk dynasty means the slave dynasty. Okay, so who was Qutbuddin Aibak? Please note it down. He was the founder of the slave dynasty, that is also called as the Mamluk dynasty, and he was the first Muslim ruler of northern India. Clear, everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, have you understood till here?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. He chartered the Ghurid Indian territories quite well. Can you see over here? Qutbuddin Aibak rose to power when the Ghurid superior was assassinated. However, his reign as the Sultan of Delhi was short-lived as he died in the year 1210. Okay, so now, however, he was constantly faced with opposition. Now, who are the people who are his enemies? Who, like, what challenges did Qutbuddin Aibak
The
face?
Hindu Rajputs.
Yes, we are studying that. Is it visible now? Earlier it was not visible.
Ma'am, it was
No.
visible earlier.
Okay.
Ma'am,
So
I'm
now,
sorry.
as we all studied, as we all discussed, let me ask you a few questions. One more time. Let's discuss. Once Muhammad Ghori died, whom the territories was handed over to, children?
The slave general.
His
Slaves.
His slaves. Okay. Among all his slaves, who became emerged as the powerful slave?
Qutbuddin
Qutbuddin
Aibak.
Okay. What was his achievements? What was the achievement of Qutbuddin Aibak?
He
He
was the first Muslim
Muslim
ruler
ruler
First
at North
in
India,
North India. He
the
was the
founder of the
founder of
Delhi
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 Sultanate.
Sultanate
Sultanate
and
and
Mamluk
Mamluk
dynasty.
dynasty.
He
Yes, he
had
was the first of all, he worked hard and he achieved the title as the first Muslim ruler of Northern India. He became the founder of Delhi Sultanate as well as the founder of Mamluk dynasties. But then he had certain enemies. Who was his enemies? Apart the
Yaldos,
Yaldos and
and
Kubacha.
Yaldos and
Kabacha,
Kabacha,
and
As
Hindu
well as
and
Hindu
the
Rajputs.
Rajput.
Hindu Rajputs. Now, what did he do? He defeated Yaldos to occupy Ghazni, okay, and he reconquered the territories like Badayun and Furakabad by defeating Jayachand, who had managed to keep the Turks at bay. Thus, Qutbuddin Aiba conquered the territories and added these territories to his sultanate. So, as we have just seen that he had two enemies. One was Yaldos and the other was Kabacha, as well as the Hindu Rajputs. Among all them, whom did he defeated first? Yaldos. Okay.
Yaldos.
After defeating Yaldos, what did he do? He occupied and reconquered the territories which belonged to whom? Which belonged to the
Ghazni
Ghaznavids,
Empire.
okay, to Muhammad Ghazni. Now, which were the territories which he occupied after defeating Yaldos?
Badayun and
Yes, Badayun and Fukarabad. All right. So this is how slowly and gradually what Qutbuddin Aibak tried to do. He tried to expand his territories and he tried to conquer new territories and added those territories into his sultanate. Have you understood till here, children?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Okay. Any questions till here?
No, ma'am.
Everybody understood?